Do you find it really difficult to deal with angry people, to deal with people that seem to, when people shout at you or when people confront you and say like, Hetty, I feel like you're doing this and this, and you find it very difficult to remain calm and process that situation and continue to go about your day in like a lovely way and not let it affect you in the long run? So if you want to find out if that is you, if that has happened to you quite a lot, if you want to find out how to actually start processing that, dealing with that, being a calmer person, and to stop getting people to react in that way to you, then keep watching this video. Welcome if you are new here. My name is Hetty, and on this channel we discuss all things positive, high vibe, and how to use the law of attraction to manifest the life of your dreams. If you haven't already, then hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications for this channel so you don't miss any more wonderful content like this. Now let's get into the fun part of today's video. I've also realised I'm literally 99% of the time wearing like joggers and jumpers and like hair scrape back in all my videos because that is just life at the moment. Like, I try and make an effort, but this is my effort, so we're gonna have to get over that for a little bit. You'll see me like when we can go out again, I'll literally be like covered on video and like heels. Like, no, I'm joking, that's not really me anyway. Yeah, just a total side note, my mind just went off there. But yeah, today's video is going to be all about how to remain calm when people are being difficult to you, maybe when they're trying to argue with you or just confronting you, and you just want to remain calm and not let that affect your soul so much. So how do we actually go about doing that? It can be very easy said than done, like just remain calm in situations, and I have done a video before, I will link it below, on 5 tips, my 5 tips on remaining calm when people are being angry and just managing your own anger and frustration. But how do we manage that in other people? Because we are that other person. We can't be in their head, and we can't, just like they start being angry and we can't just like switch off their mind and just let them be calm again. But how do we get to that point? How do we allow that to reduce and help ourselves out in that situation too? So it can be very often, especially in relationships and close relationships, maybe with your parents or your close friends or siblings, for them to bring up and mention, maybe argue with you more. That's probably usually the people that you argue with most, but it could potentially be your boss or colleagues at work. It could be just a random stranger in the street. I used to do side note, I used to do a credit control job, so I was like a debt collector, but it was over the phone, thank the Lord, for a while. I didn't have to see them face to face, but I would get so many angry people confronting me on the phone. I would like literally be on the phone, like next call, like next hundreds of calls a day, on to the next one, and I would get such torrents of abuse from a lot of them. Some of them are actually lovely, but a lot of them, you're trying to get money off them people. It's a very touchy subject for some people. So I would get the most unbelievable abuse that you couldn't imagine, and that job actually really thickened my skin a lot more. I've always been quite able to take, abuse, unfortunately, from people. People shout stuff at you, just like brush it off, it's not personal. But yeah, it really thickened my skin and allow me to remain calm. It really, I did take out of that job one good thing, to really remain calm in rather stressful situations. Now, that isn't to say that I was an absolute saint following that job. That was a few years ago. I still have my ups and downs, and I did used to be quite an angry person. Not all the time, but I was very hot-headed. I would be very much like, if someone said something, I could be very like reactive straight away, and I'd like raise my voice maybe straight away, or take it very personally straight away. And I've kind of just learned to release that and let that go and not let that affect me so much anymore. And the best way to actually do that, first and foremost, is to realize that whoever is directing any anger or negativity towards you, it could literally be someone just saying, like shouting at you for like not doing the dishes, or shouting at you for not doing your job correctly, or whatever it is. First and foremost, whenever anyone is like that towards me, I always think initially, okay, there is something else always going on here. Unless you have been very outwardly, you are literally like obliviously, you're stacking the dishes 20 miles high in the sink and doing it on purpose to annoy someone. then a lot of the time it's something that's going on within that person. A great way to look at it when someone directs anger towards you is to think, that is not that person, it is their mind, it is not them as a being. Now, you might not agree with this, but how I see everyone is inherently good. I think everyone is born good. No baby is born evil. Just look at a baby and how happy and lovely are they. People grow up and, you know, bring things onto their subconscious and go through life situations, and that is why people all end up unique and different. But everyone is inherently good. Our soul, who we really are, not this physical body or our mind or them thoughts that go on in our mind, is inherently good. So when someone has a negative behavior or anger towards you, I always think that is not you, that's not your true self when you're acting like that. It's your mind, and it might be because something has gone on. Maybe something's gone on in their day, maybe it's something that's triggered them that you might have done from a while ago. They're just stressful and it's their subconscious, and they want to get that anger out and they want to get that stress out onto you. So it's the only way they can really do that a lot of the time is to direct it externally from themselves, because when, you know, if you've been in that place before, you've got a lot of anger building up inside. It can be very painful physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually to hold that inside of yourself. So a lot of people release that by directing it someone else and taking the blame and the, you know, the anger and stress off themselves. So they direct that towards you. So if you detach that person as to who you know or who they really are at their core being from that anger, and just take a second to think, okay, that's not really them, that's not really them, that's not who they really are. And a lot of the time you'll know that because you know the person. Usually they're the people, you know, people direct anger towards you and they're closest to you, so you'll know them and you know they aren't a horrible person. You know that is not who they really are at their being. So first and foremost, just think of that as it's not them, it's their mind. Now second, it's really important to not take what someone ever says to you as personal. Now, even if it might seem like the most personal comment, the most personal thing anyone could ever say to you, like they might be saying to you like, you're a horrible person, you're this, you're selfish, you're what, and they might be saying that you're that, but a lot of the time when you say you're, it's a reflection of a lot of what's going on inside and what's happened subconsciously within the other person. A lot of the time, a lot of it is, you know, what we see in our world is a reflection of ourselves. So a lot of that can be a reflection, you know, they're putting their own reflection of themselves onto you, or just their feelings onto you. We don't have to take that personally, and that is sometimes the most difficult situation not to react in, when someone is, they're not just saying, like, the way you do that is really annoying, they're literally directing, you know, hurtful statements at you or anger or whatever it is, and it can be very difficult to remain calm and objective in that situation and not take it to heart. When we take it to heart, we are taking on that pain, we are taking on that energy and that weight onto ourselves, and then, you know, we might go away and we might think about it for days and we might be like, I'm not selfish, like it hurts, like it hurts me that you say that, but you're the one that allows that to hurt you. You are the only one that controls your emotions. So you might be watching this thinking, yeah, that's so much easier said than done though, but like when someone says that, it really hurts me, that is okay, but don't take it personally. You will learn over time not to take it personally. When I used to have people on the phone all the time to me, calling me all the names under the sun, saying I was stupid, X, Y, and Z. I had no idea who those people were, and I could have sat there and took it very personally, and I literally couldn't have actually cared less. It literally couldn't have affected me less and turned me the other way, so I don't take things personally. And that is just what is in a lot of situations where, you know, a lot of situations escalate because people take things personally as a personal thing to them. Now, it might be even, you know, someone has specifically gone out of their way to try and personally make you angry, and you think that's so personal, like that's so horrible of that person. Again, don't think of it as that person. It's something to do with them, not to do with you. It's their mind, it's control from like a lower, darker place. It's not their true self, and it's not personal. It's a reflection of the other person. It is not a reflection from you. So once you actually realize that what a lot of people are saying to you is not personal, when they come from a very negative place, then you just sort of let go of all that tension and that anxiety and that anger yourself around other people, and you stop wasting and focusing your energy on that too. You might be thinking, yes, but how do I actually in that situation not react personally? You can sometimes, you know, if someone is saying something to you, let's say someone's like, you know, angry at you, and they're like, I wish you just did this, I wish you just cleaned up more, I wish you just helped me out, I wish this. Instead of then going on the defensive, a lot of the time what can be easier, especially in the moment of anger with someone, is to just allow them to go for it and just agree with what they're saying and say, you don't have to say, yes, you're totally right, oh my god, you don't have to be like, I'm so sorry, like, forgive me. If that is not how you feel, then you can just say, I totally understand exactly where you're coming from, and I understand why that would seem frustrating to you. And you can, if you remain in that calm state, you can always talk them down from it. You can maybe say, I would really prefer maybe we have a calm chat about this, and if they won't, then you can walk away from the situation, leave the situation, try and just talk them down from the situation, but don't add any fuel to the fire. Don't, like, you know, not be like gaslighting. A lot of people are on about that these days, and just adding fuel to the fire. And that is when arguments and difficult situations can get really, you know, they can get you really riled up, and then you take it on, and that's not a part of you, that's not who you want to be. Why would you want to be angry? Why would you want to have all that stress and anxiety and, you know, worry in your life of like, oh, and you can feel it, especially when you're very angry, you can feel it literally in your arms, like in your chest, like it's stress, it's held in energy and tension that has not been dealt with from a previous situation, from something that maybe seems to you like, wow, that's so small, like I don't know why I mentioned cleaning the dishes a lot, but like, wow, I didn't clean the dishes, like that's actually not a big situation. There's obviously something else underlying behind that, so it's best to remain calm, allow that to be as an outlet. Maybe say, let's talk tomorrow, let's talk later, just calm down, I totally understand where you're coming from, like, yeah, I know. And some people might say, well, that's letting someone walk all over me, and that is not the case at all. It's not that you have to sit back and say like, okay, just, you know, shout at me, be angry at me, like do all the, you know, and especially like physically as well. Some people are in that situation where it might be like physical abuse. You don't have to let that be, you know, get to that point or let anyone walk all over you in that way. And it isn't letting someone walk all over you. You still have that respect and that dignity in yourself, that if it is something that you don't want to be a part of, you still have the choice to remove yourself totally from that situation. But a lot of the time what I'm talking about in these circumstances is just arguments with people in general, maybe arguments at work, or difficult, you know, it could escalate into a big full-blown argument. So yeah, don't take it personally, don't see it as that person, and just remain calm in the situation. And almost, oh, that was my finger that just clicked. Don't like agree with someone in that situation if you want to, and just say calming statements like, I fully understand where you're coming from. And it's very difficult, I've been on this end before, it's very difficult to argue with someone who isn't arguing back with you, because then you just start to feel like a bit of a idiot to put it lightly, because you're like, oh, frustrated, and then you're the one that then, you know, if someone else is like that to you, you're the one that then goes away and comes back and you feel guilty for doing that, because you're like, wow, I just created that whole situation, the other person wasn't even involved in it. So that's why it is best to just try and remain as objective as possible, no matter how personal whatever is being directed at you may seem. It is never personal, it is always a reflection of that other person and something else that is going on inside them. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope it has been some useful tips on how to, you know, stop allowing other people's anger or anything to take it personally or affect you. Yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, give it a like, just so I know that you enjoy my content, so I can keep making more wonderful videos for you guys. And until next time, keep spreading the positive vibes and love, and live in peace and harmony with other people. When you actually do that, you will stop seeing all these other situations come around you. You will stop seeing that anger being directed at you so much, because you have learned to deflect it, and nothing actually seems as bad as it used to seem when someone maybe says something to you, because you've learned to hold that inner peace within yourselves as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon. Mwah!